Hi everyone. Hope you're doing okay today. So this is in the note packet. So what we were in before we started doing the flip book. Okay. So we had the first few sections filled out. I think it has a yellow. Or maybe there's no cover on it. Hold on, let me look real quick. No cover. It's just a white little thin packet, okay? The first pages we were like adding or subtracting or naming all the polynomials. So kind of look in your note packet for this. I'll have some extras too that you can ask for. But, so remember yesterday I said it was big brain energy kind of stuff. Kind of hard material. Today we're doing the same thing but maybe adding one step. So I will be honest, it is a challenge. So why don't you do these first three questions as a warm-up? These are our like level one, that's what we would call it, problems right here. So factor each of these polynomials, okay? Take a second and factor those for me. Okay, I hope that you did that. I'm going to go through them quick. So remember, we're putting our parentheses back in here. I know the only way to get to an h squared is an h and an h. My signs will both be pluses because I'm multiplying and adding to a positive number. And now we got to think, what are some ways to get to 18? Well, we have 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6, and that's it. So if I want them to combine or to add to a positive 11, I know my only option there is 2 and 9, because 2 plus 9 is 11. So I'm going to put those there. And again, we can always check. H plus, or 2 times h is 2h. H times 9 is 9h. Together, that gives me my 11h. We are good to go. Okay. Same thing on this one here. I know the only way to get to a k squared is a k and a k. If we look at our symbols, I'm combining to a negative 10 but multiplying to a positive. So I know it has to be minus, minus. Now some ways to get to 24. 1 and 24. 2 and 12. Oh, you guys, this is off. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix this really quick. Let's see if that helped. Give it a second here. Okay. Ooh, that might have made it worse. Let's see, 3, okay, perfect. 3 and 8, and 4 and 6. So those are all of our options to get to 24. Now I want them to combine to negative 10, or right, because these would all be negative, right, with their signs in here. So I know that has to be 4 and 10, right, because those would combine to that 10. And again, we'll check. Negative 4 times k is negative 4k. K times negative 6 is negative 6k. Together, that gives me negative 10k, which is what we wanted. Perfect. And then these last ones here, again, throw in our parentheses. The only way to get to an m squared is an m and an m. We're multiplying to a negative number to that negative 7, so I know it has to be a plus and a minus. And what's nice about this one, folks, is there's only one way to get to a 7. It's a 1 and a 7. So you pick, oops, yeah, we'll go there. So we just got lucky, or I got lucky there without really thinking, but always check to make sure your signs are okay. 1 times m is 1m. M times negative 7 is negative 7m. 1 minus 7 is negative 6, which is what we wanted. So all is well. Okay, again, those are like our level ones. I hope they went okay for you, and I hope those are getting really easy, right? Because we've been doing those for quite some time now. So now today, we're going to have, again, numbers in front of our first term, right? But before you go and try all the guess and check, we want you to see if there's a GCF. Do you remember what GCF means? It's that greatest common factor. So you gotta think, is there a number I can pull out of all three of my terms? And usually it'll be pretty obvious. And you want it to end up going in there evenly, right? Like we don't want any decimals or fractions because that's gonna make your life way worse. So if I look here, is there anything that I can take out of a 5, 15, and 10? I hope you're thinking 5 would be our GCF, right? So our 5 here, you're going to pull out a 5. Now you can divide everything by 5. All right? So what's going to happen here? You're just left with x squared. 15x divided by 5 would be a positive 3x. And then 10 divided by 5 would be 2. So now, you can't forget about this 5 up front, so we're going to drop it down. But we're going to treat the inside parentheses like we normally would. Because now we have like a level 1 problem, right, you guys? So from here, what's the only way to get to x squared? An x and an x. I'm adding and multiplying to a positive number, so I know it's going to be plus plus. And then what's really nice, right? The only way to get to a 2 is a 2 and a 1, so you pick where you want them to go, 2 and a 1. And you can always check, it's always good to check. 2x, 1x, together they combine to a 3x, which is what we wanted right there. So your whole answer though, children, let me erase this to make our lives a little easier here, would be this whole thing. The 5 has to go with it, so that's what your entire answer would be. You can't forget about that 5, because you did pull out the 5. You factored that out. Okay, let's look at number 5 here. So I have 4x squared plus 13x plus 3. Is there GCF? Is there a number I can pull out of 4, 13, and 3? No, that 13 and 3, they're both odd, 4 is even, and there isn't anything that we can pull out of all 3 of those. So we're going to put a big old no. So now this becomes a problem like yesterday. It's just guess and check. So let's think. What are some ways to get to 4x? Well, we have a 1 and a 4, or a 2 and a 2. Factors of 3. Well, it's nice, right, you guys? 3 and 1, it's the only way to get there. So now it's just, again, our guess and check. So, I'm thinking I have to multiply to a 13, right? So I know I usually say don't start with that 1 and 4, but I'm going to because I'm thinking I'm going to have to get multiplying to a 13 is kind of high, right? So I'm probably thinking I have to take my 4 times my 3 there. So let's see what this would look like. So I'm going to have my 4x and an x. And then both my signs are positive, so I'm going to have plus plus. And now I only have one way to get to a 3, right? A 3 and a 1. And think, I'm probably going to take this 4 times 3. So I'm going to put my 3 here and the 1 there. Now let's see if we did that right. Again, I've done this for a long time, so I kind of can see where I want things to go a little bit easier than you can, but I promise you'll get there. So 1 times x is 1x. 4 times 3 is 12x. 1x plus 12x is 13x, which is what we wanted, kids. So we just did it right there. We got it. All right, let's try a few more. Again, always look first to see if there's a GCF. It will make your life way, way easier. So is there a number I can pull out of a 3, 7, or a 2? Unfortunately, no, again, there's not. So that's a big old no GCF. What are our factors of 3x squared? Well, it's nice. We know there's only one way to get to a 3. It's a 3 and a 1. What's also nice, for 2, there's only one way to get to a 2. It's a 2 and a 1. So we only have one option here, which is nice. It's just a matter of getting our signs and our placement correctly. So we're combining to a negative number, but multiplying to a positive. So I know, you guys, both of our signs are going to be minus, minus. So that's also pretty nice. Now think about it. We want to combine to a 7, to a negative 7. So where does it make sense to put the 2? Does it make sense to put the 2 right here or right here? I'm hoping you're thinking the further one, right? The second choice, because I'm going to multiply these two together to get a 6, which is really close to 7. So I want you to start kind of thinking about strategic placement too. Instead of always trying to guess and check, like think about what you're going to have to do. So now if we check it out, let's see if we did this right. Negative 1x, 3x times negative 2 is negative 6x. Now if we combine those, we're going to get negative 7x, which is again, what we wanted. So that is our factored form. All right. Let's try another one here. Is there a GCF for 2x minus 5x minus 7? So is there a number that we can pull out of a 2, negative 5, and a negative 7? No, there's not. This may maybe be a good one for you to try on your own if you want to maybe pause the video here and see if you can fill the rest of this out. I encourage you to do that, right? Because that's one way you're going to be good at these is trying them and thinking on your own. But I'm going to go ahead now and start it. So if some factors of 2, you guys know this is nice, right? It's only 2 and 1. And what's also nice about this one is 7 only has one option. It's 1 and 7. So now let's see what this is going to look like. We know we're going to have a 2x and an x. Now we're combining to a negative number, but multiplying to a negative number as well. So I know I'm going to have a plus and a minus, but you guys, we know that we could have these in the wrong places. But you just got to start somewhere, right? So we'll start here. I'll put my plus with my 2 and my minus with my 1x. Now let's think about where we're going to put the 1 and the 7. Does it make sense? I want to combine to a negative 5. Does it make sense to put my 7 here or here? So now think about it. I'm going to take this 2 and multiply it by here. I'm going to get negative 14. That seems kind of high, right? So I'm probably not going to want to put my 7 on this spot. We'll probably want to keep it in this first place here. Okay, so we put the 7 in the first place, and then the 1 over here. Now let's check and see if our signs are in the right spot. 7 times x is 7x. 2x times negative 1 is negative 2x. 7 minus 2x is a 5x. Oh, we wanted a negative 5x, and I have a positive 5x. So, easy fix, you guys. We just got to change our symbols. So I'm going to have my minus with my 7 and a positive with the 1. Now let's just see how that changes things out a little bit here. All right, let's try it again just to make sure. Negative 7x. 2x times 1 is 2x. If I combine those, we're going to get negative 5x. Woohoo! That is what we wanted. All right, good job. This next one, number 8, is also a good one for you to try on your own. See if you can figure out if there's a GCF and go from there. I'm hoping you found that there is a GCF between 2, 6, and 8. We can pull out a 2, right, from all of them. So we're going to divide out a 2. So if we divide out a 2, I don't like how I wrote that. We have to divide everything by 2, right, you guys? So I'm going to pull a 2 on the outside. 2y squared divided by 2, we're going to find out that those 2's cancel, so we're left with y squared. Negative 6y divided by 2 is negative 3y. And then negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. So now, you guys, we've gone from what looks kind of like a complicated problem to a really easy level 1 problem. Oh, well, this was there to throw you off. We don't want any of that. So now from here, let's drop down that 2, because we know we're going to have to put the 2 out in front because it's part of our answer. The only way to get to a y squared is a y and a y. We're multiplying to that negative, so I know the only way to multiply to a negative is a positive and a negative. Now we have a couple options to get to 4. It can either be 4 and 1 or 2 and 2. What do you guys think? We're trying to get to a 3. I know 4 and 1, if I subtract them, I'll get a 3. So let's do that one. If I want it to be a negative 3, I probably want to make my 4 the negative and my 1 the positive. Okay, again, let's check this out to make sure we did it okay. 1 times y is 1y. Y times negative 4 is negative 4. If we combine those bad boys together, we're going to get -3, which is, again, what we wanted. Awesome. All right, so remember your final answer includes that number out in front, right? So you have to make sure you have that 2 out in front, otherwise it's not correct. So make sure that 2 is there. And then our last one here, you guys, it's a bit of a doozy, I'll be honest. We just have so many options, so there's a lot of things that we could guess and check. So let me erase this so I have space here. So let's look to see if there's a GCF. So let's see, is there a number we can take out of a 6, 1, and a 12? If there was, if it was just 6 and 12, we definitely could have been. Unfortunately, that 1 in the middle doesn't help us, so no, there's no GCF. So some factors of 6 would be 6 and 1, or 2 and 3. Factors of -12, 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. So we have a lot of potential options here. So our only saving grace, you guys, is we want to combine to a 1. So I know my numbers are going to have to be kind of close together. So let's put our parentheses in. Okay. Now, since I want to get to a 1 in the middle, that kind of, in my brain, like our numbers have to be close when we multiply, right? So I don't want anything big like a 6 in there or a 12. Now, 2 and 6 could work, maybe, but I'm not going to try that first. I'm going to probably try these two first because those numbers are close together. So for my 6, I'm going to do a 3a and a 2a. Now our signs need to multiply to a negative. Well, the only way to get to a negative is a plus and a minus. Again, I'm kind of guessing here. I'm not really sure if I put my signs together or not. And now 3 and 4 is what we said we were going to try, right? Because the other one has a 6 and that's kind of big. Now, if you remember from, I don't know, it was before spring break, so a while ago, you guys, right? We can be strategic when we place this 3 and 4. I don't want to put the 3 here because there's already a 3 there. They would have a GCF together and they'll never go together in the same parentheses. So I know my 3 has to go here and my 4 has to go here. And if you forgot that, that's okay. We didn't talk about it a ton. Just remember that these two numbers inside your parentheses will never have a GCF. So that's another way to help you kind of decide where things should go. Okay, now let's see if we even have something close here. Again, we don't really know. So I'm going to have 4 times 2a, which is 8a, and 3a times -3 would be -9a. If we combine them, 8a minus 9a is -1a. And we wanted a positive 1a. So our placement is good, but no, it's not good. Our signs. So let's see what this does for us. So let's have a minus there and a plus there. So now -4 times 2a is -8a. 3a times a positive 3 is a positive 9. -8 plus 9a is a positive 1. We did it. All right, good work, everybody. I know this stuff's tough. We're going to spend some time working on these and getting really good. But always just check to see if there's that GCF, right? You guys always see if you can factor out that number before you do this long process of guessing and checking. All right, thank you for watching. Have a good day. Goodbye.